What's a hard-hitting life lesson you learned way too late in life? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. The importance of setting boundaries and saying no. Turns out, people won't love you more for sacrificing your own well-being to please them. Wish I had known that sooner. Would have saved a lot of unnecessary stress and burnt-out moments. Story 2. For me, it's all about tomorrow is never promised. My husband died very suddenly, and for a while I gave up on life. I became very ill and had to be flown to hospital from the tiny island we lived on. Somewhere during that scary flight, I chose to live. That was 7 years ago, and I'm now living a very full life, working PAT and traveling as much as possible. Story 3. Work less, spend time with family, enjoy your hobbies. Capitalism is a joke. You'll make money if you actually find something that you enjoy doing anyway. Don't break your back for someone else. Don't be anyone's slave. And most importantly nowadays, don't let anyone suppress your freedom of thought. Story 4. Your most important relationship you'll ever have in this world is the one you have with yourself. If you find too much of your happiness to be reliant on things outside of your control, other people, it's time to take a step back and work on your relationship with you. Story 5. I agree with many of the life lessons shared here. One lesson I learned way too late in life is that taking care of my mental health is crucial. I used to prioritize work over my well-being, which led to burnout and unhappiness. Now, I understand the importance of self-care and setting boundaries to maintain a healthy mind. It's never too late to prioritize your mental health and make positive changes in your life. Story 6. Debt can wreak havoc on your life, so avoid it as much as possible. Credit cards, in particular, should only be used for extreme emergencies. If you get used to buying only what you can pay cash for, you will sleep much better at night. None of this is easy in this day and age, but you won't be sorry if you live by it. Story 7. When in doubt, say less. It's perfectly okay to take some secrets to the grave. Never trust someone with a history of drug addiction with anything important or critical. Some people talk a lot or overshare. Never give them any sensitive or critical information. Being friendly with someone is not the same as being friends with someone. Aim to be friendly with everyone, but maintain strict admission requirements for inner circle stuff. Story 8. Eat well and take care of your body. I was a broke college student and would skimp on eating in some dumb attempt to save money. I legitimately tried to not eat so I could buy an expensive bike and golf clubs. Better than buying drugs, I guess, but it was so stupid. I was way underweight and all around not healthy. Now, in my late 20s, I am fit and gained probably a healthy 25-30 lbs. I no longer skimp on food. I value food. Story 9. Adults might change their routines, diets, style, or opinion about certain things, but they do not change their true characters and tempers. He is not going to get nicer to you. If you get a baby together, she is not going to stop arguing like crazy after the wedding. He is not going to stop cheating because he loves you and not those 60 girls before you. She is not going to stop hitting and beating you if you keep saying sorry. Stop believing in empty promises, because thousands of people every year end up in torture relationships, horrible marriages, with unwanted kids facing living between two parents who hate each other just because one of them was naive and blind to red flags which were there all the time. Story 10. Choose optimistic friends and interact. Communicate with them as much as possible. Great attitudes go a long way in this world, from working to socializing, from good times to the not-so-good times. Having those friends that offer the bright side can be hugely influential in how you carry yourself and how you respond in adversity. Story 11. You're not a if you say no. I know, it's obvious for most people, but I had a hard time saying no to people, whether it was friends, family, work, or dating. I just didn't know how to set my boundaries, and was afraid that I would be seen as an unpleasant for saying no. Don't want to attend a family member's work event? You're a Don't want to work out in the morning with your friends? Don't want to try some spicy new things in the bedroom? Guess what? You're a Ever since setting my boundaries, life has become way more pleasant. And, contrary to all my fears, no one has called me a once. Stop. Your reality is not reality. It's real to you and only you. You could ask a group of 20 people, what color is the sky, and get 20 different answers. 18 people answered some kind of blue. 2 people answered green, because you know, people. Of the 18 that answered blue, one might say cobalt. One might say azure. Another might say light blue-gray with white wispy clouds. None are wrong. They're all correct to the person that said it. Reality is perception, and everyone's perception is different. Even if you say the same thing, see the same thing, feel the same thing, the reasons behind each individual's answer will be different. Story 13. You don't have to like your job. You just have to not hate it. Higher pay won't be worth it if your job sucks so much out of you. You can't do things you like. Also, no one cares when you do things alone. I'd been going to movies alone for years. Then I added sporting events. Then concerts. Now a comedy show. Are they fun with friends? Of course. But if tickets are expensive or selling fast, just get one. If you want to do it more often, just do it by yourself sometimes. It's not like you'd have a full conversation the whole time anyway. Story 14. You can feel alone with a room full of people around you. Biggest lesson I learned in my 30s. The lesson I gleaned from it was to be my own best friend. Enjoy doing things on your own, because if you absolutely need someone else just to have a good time, you're gonna run out of supply down the road. Also, when you enjoy yourself by yourself, people will gravitate to you. I have a friend who is learning this lesson several years after divorce. She cannot function without someone always entertaining her in her free time after work. It is exhausting for those in her circle who haven't got good boundary control. I put the walls up early, but gave her all the tools that helped me discover the coolness of my own damn company. Story 15. The biggest. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. Even if you are a good friend, good sibling or offspring, good boyfriend or husband, someone may still hurt you for no good or clear reason. They may still lash out instead of communicating with you about what you did or what you could have done better. And sometimes they might even hurt you and you will never find out why. After feeling the sting of it, because you are human and you are allowed to feel pain and hurt and anger, which may or may not temporarily is the length of time for mourning, change who you are into the version of you who is responding to that. Then you need to recover the confidence and self-worth that they destroyed. Honorable mentions. If they wanted to, they would. Actions speak louder than words, and anyone can spin a tale. But it takes a person true to themselves, and you, if they back those words up with actions. Loyalty to themselves, their ideals, and those they hold dear, is priced at an all-time high right now. Always choose kindness. There's no reason to assume malice. There's no reason to be a bastion of anger and presumptions about the world and people around you. Sometimes people are just stupid, or they make stupid mistakes. Sometimes you don't like someone for absolutely no reason at all. Better to befriend the weirdo at school than to make fun of him. Those dividends could pay off in some way, even if it's small. Would you rather be known as someone's beacon of kindness, if even for a moment, or as someone of whom will be a target of their enmity for the rest of your life? There is always a choice. Everyone makes their own choices. Whether they were ill-informed or not, ignorant of possible consequences or outcomes, is not your responsibility or fault. You can see fit to ask if they'd like your advice or opinion, but if they refuse, then that's their choice. You did the best you could, and if they get angry and try to foist the blame on you, how could you let me do that? Then don't presume that they're going to listen to what you have to say, because they wouldn't even listen to you in the first place. They're feeling ashamed, and shame brings anger in themselves, a responsibility they don't want to take ownership of, so they look for a victim to blame for their own inadequacy. Story 16. I always thought I had more time. Sometimes a relationship, job, trip experience is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and if you don't go for it, it's gone. Also, some people truly enjoy chaos and misery and don't want peace, and it's pointless to try to get along with them. Story 17. Diet is important from an early age because bad eating habits at 25 aren't as consequential as bad habits at 45. So get a start on normalizing healthy eating and exercise. Doesn't have to be gym class, just walking, or light sweats. Your money, house, toys are no good if you can't enjoy them. Some people I know have already died from diabetes. Heart attacks and stroke in their 40s and 50s, mostly attributed to unhealthy lifestyles. Story 18. Sometimes there isn't a tomorrow. If you keep meaning to call someone or spend time with them or anything, just make time now. One day you won't be able to see them anymore and can never get lost time back. Story 19. I learned this lesson after my marriage when I was 32 years old. People close to you, blood relations, childhood friends, and similar will happily leech off of you for as long as they can. until you start to say no to them for this. Then, they'll forget years of your sacrifices, dedication, and selfless acts, and actively consider you someone who doesn't care for them. I started being more invested in my partner and all hell broke loose. Suddenly, I was not a good nephew, good brother, good friend. They even actively tried bad-mouthing me and my partner just so they can pamper their ego. Never again. Story 20. Taking time in your late teens, early adult life to explore and find out who, what, where you want to be is much more important than immediately entering tertiary education just because of pressure or expectations. I wish I'd spent more time in my 20s working simple jobs, having fun and finding out who I was, rather than going to university to get a useless fine arts degree, because getting a bachelor's degree straight after high school was what my parents expected me to do, and I thought I was only good at art and too dumb for anything else due to undiagnosed ADHD and academic difficulties in high school. It wasn't a terrible time in my life, but I'm 32 now and back at uni doing a biological sciences bachelor with a botany major, involving chemistry, biology, and statistics, all things I thought I was way too dumb for back then. But even though I'm doing something I actually love, I'm struggling because of where I am in my life, parenting responsibilities, financial concerns, study time limitations. If I'd taken a year or two to figure out what I liked or where I wanted to be back, then I might have done this when I had time and energy to dedicate to it, and I'd be in a totally different place right now. Alright folks, that's a wrap. If you like more of this, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.